Welcome to Night Rips, and time for another dive into trying to finish my collection. This time with honestly one of the oddest names that I've ever seen of this product. This would be 1995 Topps Stadium Club High Number Series. Now the reason I say this is odd is it actually went against the grain, and no other Stadium Club has ever done this. You would either hear Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, whatever series it was, or that 1 year that they did even odd, which that's bizarre to me too. This one was odd because there was a Series 1, there was a Series 2, but rather than going with Series 3, they decided to call this one High Number. Go figure. I don't know. With this one, obviously, we're going to rip 6 packs. There's 24 packs in this in total. These are the highest numbers of the 1995. There are only 2 insert cards in the entire box. There is the Power Zone Power Matrix card and the Crystal Ball Prismatic Foil. Now, because I know these are shiny cards, if these get stuck, I'm going to be doing the hairdryer. I'm not going to damage the cards this time, at least hopefully. But definitely want to see what we got in here. Should be a lot of base, but even that, there's going to be Extreme Core cards and Transaction cards that are kind of like the double foils. Interesting thing is that they're either rainbow foils or they're silver foils. And in this box, you're going to get one or the other. You're not going to get both. And I don't care what I get, just to try to finish that base set. So let's go ahead, open this up as usual, and see what we get. Now, while I'm cutting the wrapper off of this, go ahead and take the time to invite you to join the channel, hitting that subscribe button below, and hitting the notify bell. I definitely put up a lot of stuff, and love to have you join the channel. All right, so as always, let's grab 6 packs. I'm going to just grab 6 from one and see what we got. And we'll start by zooming in and take a look at what we have in these nice 95 high number. 13 cards. Oh, that's a nice lucky number. So let's go ahead and rip this open and see what we got. I can tell from the back it already looks a lot like the other 95s. And there's a little bit of sticking, but not a ton. Just going to make sure we can get these apart. Let's see who we can find. There we go. We start off right in the bat there with Orel Hershiser. Of course, seeing Orel Hershiser in a Stadium Club pitching is rare, because typically he always had some very bizarre ones. And we're going to go through the base. Obviously, this looks a lot like Series 1, Series 2, but we get one of those Extreme Cores. And I want to say that might be the rainbow foil, or it might be silver. I don't know. But that's a nice one. They're a Kirby Pocket. You can tell it's a pretty card, though. Well, how's the back look compared to the other ones? Of course, let's get one that's not stuck. Oh, we got a Transaction right after it. Oh, that's pretty neat. Definitely, it's a little bit different. They are base. It's not an insert set. The only ones insert are the Power Matrix and the Crystal Ball, I think is what they call them. But still, it's a pretty cool one nonetheless. Definitely a little bit different. I actually didn't realize that Kirby was that short. 5'9". A little bit taller than I am. And then we get a Transaction of John Wetland. Again, I want to take a look at the back. Now, there should be 4 of these cards, either the Transaction or Extreme Core. And it looks like we got our next one. There's the back of a Transaction card. Oh, and it looks like it was basically based on the trade or whatnot. So this is where the Yankees secured him from Montreal. Pretty cool. And again, pretty card. I don't know if it's rainbow or silver. I have to go look, but whatever we see, this is what the entire box is going to have. There's Kevin Appier, Extreme Core. And another Kirby Pocket Extreme Core. Now, it is unfortunate that in the same pack we got a dupe, but there is only 135 cards this entire set, so you're going to find dupes. And that should be it, unless we find any of the... That's interesting. I guess they're both gold. Just sometimes they shines a little bit different, as I have to look. But there is only 135 cards in this set, so we are going to, in these, 4 rips, 24 packs, we are going to find duplicates. All right, take a look at the second pack. One thing I didn't pull up before, we're now starting to find odds on packs. So here it talks about that power zone. It's going to be 1 in 24 packs, or basically 1 per box. And the crystal ball cards, 1 in 24, same thing. So we should find 1 of each. So the second pack. Now, I don't think the crystal ball cards or the power matrix are die cuts, so they won't really jump out at us until we find them. So a little bit of stick, but it's just grabbing a little bit. It's not like it's stuck. I have to really pull them apart. So Jose Offerman. Now, this being the high number series, this will be where it's kind of like update. There will be players that potentially got traded mid-season, and this is where they kind of caught up. Jose Roselli. This is also where you're going to find a lot of people you don't recognize. Oh, here we go. This is a nice Extreme Corp. Nice Barry Bonds. And this, of course, Barry Bonds with San Francisco. This is, the beginning of him breaking the record. Well, it's not the beginning, but this is whenever he started really cranking out the home runs. So he hit 37. It was only second. Only second on the team, which is interesting. I wonder who number 1 was. Of course, I think 95 might have been the year he was traded. I don't remember. Got another Extreme Core of Kevin Napier. Of course, that's a dupe. An Extreme Core of Ray Langford. At least that one's new. And Barry Bonds. It looks like that's what's going to end up happening. We're going to just get doubles of one of the cards. And if you're going to get double of any of them, Kirby Puckett was the first one. Barry Bonds the second one. This is a good one to have a dupe. Here's Todd Hankey. Say what you will about Barry. He definitely was a slugger. I mean, even with the whole steroid allegation, you still had to be able to hit the ball. Bob Tewksbury and Tony Fernandez. Okay, pack number 3. Haven't found any of those inserts. Okay, who we get here? Just make sure these kind of give a little bit. I am happy that it feels like this box is going to be nice to us. Don't know what's going to happen when we actually get to those foil cards, since we have had problems in other stadium clubs. Right, Rodriguez. Yeah, definitely, even this early, finding duplicates. Of course, we found duplicates in the first pack. And we got Kevin Brown Transaction. Who was he a transaction for? So he was a free agent whenever... he was with Texas, but he was a free agent whenever the Orioles picked him up. So, there you go. We have a Sammy Sosa Extreme Core, so... right off the bat, I mean, you're looking at two of the boys of summer. All we got to do is find a McGuire, and we got a hat trick. But nice Sosa. How many home runs had Sosa hit? His first on the team had hit 25. It's weird to see those low numbers, because later in the 90s, it wasn't that way anymore. There's Jack McDowell. Obviously, pitching for the Yankees. Who did he come from? Chicago. Don't know which Chicago team, because I don't remember off the top of my head. Oh, the White Sox. Of course, he's got a little bit of the foil on him, but that's okay. And then we got the guy who's going to honestly be paid by the Mets until he's 75 years old in 2030. See, 35 or 37, I don't remember. Bobby Bonilla. I wouldn't be sad to get paid $1 million a year until I'm 75. I think I could deal with that. Here's Benny Santiago, Bobby Witt Jr.'s dad, Bobby Witt. And we end it with, what is the name? Mickey Tettleton. And the only reason it kind of threw me off is how off-centered it is. But that's okay. It is 90s baseball. We know how tops and quality control is. So let's go ahead and open up pack number 4. Now, one thing I'll call out different in these packs than the Series 1, Series 2 of the same year is there is no virtual reality cards. There's no virtual reality cards, and this was actually the set that also had the phone cards. You're not going to find those either. I mean, it's almost like just the finishing up of the set. That's why it's a little bit different, but, you know, adding those Extreme Core and Transaction cards it's definitely a nice touch. And obviously, oh, there we go, Marquise Grissom there with the Braves. Transaction. Now, Grissom, if I remember correctly, I don't remember he came from the Dodgers or the Expos. Let's take a look. Yeah, from Montreal. Because I do have a Marquise Grissom rookie card from the Expos. Of course, he still lives here. And he's not related to the Vaughn Grissom we have today. There's another transaction of Greg Jeffries. He signed him away from St. Louis. Pretty cool. And another transaction. Of course, this is Jose Canseco, and obviously we know Jose Canseco. He ended up coming there from, what is it? This is actually got picked up by Boston. Because he was a Ranger before that. So I was looking at that going, I thought that was the Ranger uniform, but I really can't tell. It might be Boston too. But this is when he had gone to Boston. That would be post or was it pre? When he was at the Athletics. And then we got another transaction. This is Tony Tarasco. Gone to the Expos and came from the Braves. So a lot of transactions there. See the rest of our cards. Of course, a lot of dupes. You will find that in small sets like this. It's nice to only have 135 cards. Of course, I have none of those 135 cards until I open this. Pack number 5. Looks like just the way the print is. I thought that card was kind of chewed on the end, but it's not. But even if it is, honestly, I'll end up probably pulling 2 or 3 of them. So there's Andy Pettitte, who is actually the pitching coach for the World Baseball Classics this year. All right, come on. Yeah, got some great ones going to coach this year. You got Pettitte there for pitching, and you got Ken Griffey Jr. for hitting. So, looking forward to that one. All right. There you go. There's another nice Extreme Core. Of course, Mr. Padre himself, Tony Gywnn. How many home runs had he hit? He'd only hit 12. He was third on the team. But not too bad. You know, he had started playing in 82, 83. So that was actually after he had been playing for quite a while. There's Ken Hill. There was the Cardinals. Before that, where was he? Montreal. Ken Caminiti went to the Padres, and it came from Houston. Interesting to see where, you know, on these deal cards. Derek Bell, obviously the Astros. I think he was a Blue Jay before this. I'm drawing a blank. It's always good to, no, he was with San Diego. It's always good to use this to try to refresh your memory. since this, some of these have been around. There's Andy Van Slyke. Of course, he was a Pirate for a long time. Joe Randa. As a matter of fact, one of the cards I remember is a checklist card from Upper Deck. Had Van Slyke and Barry Bonds on it. Tony Fernandez and Heathcliff Slocum. All right, last pack. So if we're going to get an insert, this will be it. Of course, got another Bobby Witt here on the back, but the thing I'm liking is that the fact that they don't have them all turned over, and it's probably part of the reason why these cards are just coming apart, because this was actually the bottom of the box, and they still just come apart real easy. Very well taken care of. Not necessarily always like that, but I'm happy this one is. Not gonna Lance Parrish with the Blue Jays. Obviously, he was a Detroit Tiger for a long time. For our Extreme Corp, we have Andres Galarraga. There's a Transaction of Brian McRae there with the Mets. I think he was a Blue Jay before, or was he? No, that's not the Mets, that's the Cubs. But I think he still was a Blue Jay before. Oh, Kansas City. My bad. And funny thing about Brian McRae, I actually have a masterwork photo from one of the earlier Stadium clubs. Will Clark, Extreme Corp. And definitely there's a Hall of Famer right there, Lee Smith. With the Angels, was this before or after the Cardinals? He was a free agent at the time. So I don't remember where he was before this. He had gone to so many teams, so it's hard to keep track of when, where. All right, let's get down to the last. Oh, there you go. Nice young Mo Rivera. Greatest closer of all time. A unanimous Hall of Fame vote. Very, very cool. How many games had he played by this point? It was in 94. Obviously, he still played. Well, he was an A-ball in May of 94. Majors in May of 95. And of course, this is 95, so this would really be one of his early cards. Very cool. And you can tell how early it was because definitely does not look like that now. But none of us look the same as we were when we first, in our 20s. And then we end it with another hurler, Bobby Witt. All right, so let's go ahead and recap. Obviously, a lot of base here. And you're expecting a lot of base, which is a good thing because of the 135 cards for the high number series, I have none. So now I do have some. I'll put them to the side. We also definitely got, and these are base too. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Of course, some of those are repeats. But we definitely got some great ones, the Hall of Famer Tony Gywnn, Bobby Bonilla, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds. Definitely some great sluggers in there. And we pulled the transactions. These are basically the trades. Either they picked up from free agent or traded sometime during the season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 of each. So we didn't get any of the inserts. Not expecting them yet. I mean, you could find them in the first rip, or we could find them in the last rip. Who knows? There's only going to be 4 rips, and there's only 2 insert cards. And both insert cards, I'm not going to try to chase them. They're not part of the base set, but they're 10 to 12 card sets each. So you can tell how many boxes you'd have to open to potentially finish the entire set. So that's it. Our first rip of 95 high number. Definitely a fun one. Definitely a fun product, and I'm extremely happy that these cards came apart so easy. Didn't have to break out the hairdryer. Hope you enjoyed this too, and if you enjoy it, make sure you're part of the community by joining the channel, hitting that subscribe button there below, and hitting the notify bell. Also, go ahead and thumbs up the video. The more thumbs up I get, the less time I have to break out the hairdryer. And if you have any comments, drop it in the comment section below. So I hope you enjoyed this rip as much as I do, and I look forward to doing it again with you real soon. So until then, bye now.